Yeah, here we are. It's Friday again. Did accomplish a few things on the interior of the car this week, including fixing up those cracks. Now that crack there is filled up, and that crack there is filled up. Now a matter of just getting it all polished up so it's got the same shine all the way across. But it looks an awful lot better than what it did before with the big gaping cracks in it. And everything's going in here. So we'll I decided to do some work down here on these panels here because they weren't very nice. So I cut them out and put in new ones. You can take a look and see what happens. Look at that. 6 o'clock and it's bright and sunny and everything out here is okay. So I'll get a movie out for you. We got some progress today. See how things are for next week. And I'll see you then. Where did I leave you last time? I left you with the glove box mostly installed, and then I put this, don't know if you can see that, but that's where the little light is inside there. Press this little button up here and the light goes off. Wonder where that little button is, right there. There, see, light off, light on, light off, light on. Anyway, that's glove box installed, and it closes up and looks like a glove box. Next thing is these repairs here with the plastic goop. It seems to be working, and the color is pretty close to right. So I'm going to mix up another batch and put another coat on. It'll likely take another 3 or 4 coats before it fills in, but what the hell, got time. Yeah, so when the leather repair stuff, I wonder where that box is. I gotta find, there it is right there. Anyhow, this stuff, leather repair, vinyl repair, it says in the instructions that when you go to clean it up, use, well, not clean it up, when you go to finish the work inside on the dash there, you take rubbing alcohol and rub it fairly aggressively to get rid of the stuff that's over, like pushed over where you don't want it. And then, I don't have any of that in the house, but I do have moonshine, and moonshine is pretty well as good as rubbing alcohol, if not better. And if you get tired of rubbing alcohol, you can always have a drink. Yep, there you are. There I'm mixing up another batch of this stuff. And the spatula that comes with it is only this long, and makes it a little bit handier to work with if you extend the handle a bit. That's a, professional extension there, electric tape and a little screwdriver. Now, here we are at the rear wheel arch. This is one of the first things that I repaired on the whole car. I did a bit of work down in here, and then I started working on this arch. Now, what I should have done, should have taken a pattern from it before I cut it out, but I didn't. And then I could have made the arch the right curve to the arch, because if you look close, you can see that it's kind of square, square, or flat, 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 flat. Now, I didn't know any better back then how to do it, but I do now. So happens that the other side of the car I didn't ruin. So I can go over here, I came over here, and I made myself, whoops, I'm pointing the wrong way. So I made myself a cardboard template that will fit in here pretty damn close. It goes from there to there. Maybe it goes the other way. It goes one way or the other. I think that's the way I had it going. Anyway, so it fits in there, and it follows that curve pretty damn close. So I can get the proper radius for the curve off of that, and then I know how, or I have an idea how to do it on the other side here. I'll show you as I go, but you sort of build it up. Take your arch piece, which would be the inside bit, and the inside bit is the arch piece, and then put another piece of metal on the outside to hold it rigid. So, see what happens. Yeah, so there's kind of the idea right there. I'll have I cut out this piece of steel here. It's only a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch wide. Now I'll cut another piece of steel, and based on that arch there, and we'll weld this to it, or I'll just a couple of ways to do it. I could trace this arch onto a piece of steel, weld that to it along the arch, and that would be the easiest way to get it done. And then cut it out, just cut out this part afterwards. So that's likely the right way to do it. Yeah, so there's the line of the arch that I have to put onto the car. So what I'll do is I'll weld that little piece of steel along this line as far as I can go, and then the inside, this part here, I don't care about, so I'll cut that out of it, and the outside bit I'll cut it along here somewhere after I get the steel welded on there, so I know where I can cut. Yeah, so there you go, I welded on, just tack welded all the way around on that arch. Now I'll go and I'll cut it. I'll put a few more tacks in here, and then I'll cut it along here somewhere and cut it, and then this inside here comes out of it, so I'll weld it along the edge, then I'll cut it out, and then I'll pretty it up. Yeah, there's welded up along both sides of it. This would be the inside of the car, so it won't be noticeable. I'll clean it up some, but I wanted to leave lots of weld on there so I could grind down the outside to make it a nice curved, like a curved corner. I got it over to here so far, taking a break. Just got to do that much more and the rest of it's done. Then I'll cut out this inside of the arch, and I'll leave all that stuff on the outside till I get it figured out what I want to do there. Well, there's a ugly bit of work, but it sure does look an awful lot better than it used to. It used to be kind of squared around there. Now it's a nice round curve, and I've got a line that I can come to with a little bit of the body work on it. I'll do some grinding and then I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, there, now sanded it off, or grinded it down and cleaned it up. So it's looking pretty good. Now I guess I should have really done this before I put the wheel all back on so I could reach in here and weld it up properly, but I'll have to work at that. And I'll fill in this little piece with a piece of metal there, in there. Do a couple more welds along here and then grind it some more, but much more satisfying looking than the one that was there, the way it was before. It's got an actual curve to it, so it looks a little bit like the other side, which is the factory side. So that's, it looks all right. There you go. Well, there now. How do you like that? That stuff actually seems to work fairly well. You can still see the crack, but it's smooth across the top. And then you see all that extra over here maybe. Yeah, you see how it's all over the sides like that. So what I did was I took the, what do you call that? Rubbing alcohol to it and rubbed on it. And then I put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on the stain, and then a little bit of memory cloth work, and it came right off. Everything came right off with that. Very lightly with the emery cloth because it'll take the finish off. So now I just have to get some shoe polish or something that has the same kind of color, and I'll polish that up and see how it looks. I'll just do this one for a test first and see how it comes out. Like you can see where it's drying now, and this color in the interior is right. This color around the edges is wrong. So I'll fix that and I'll be a happy guy. Yeah, so today's all about putting the seats back together on the inside of the car. There's I had this one all apart because it wasn't working properly. Needs a bit of repair in here. I'll see what I can do about that. This one here, I repaired it previously, but it's not a very good repair there, is it? So we'll get that's the base of it with the electrics for moving it back and forth and other stuff. And I'll see what I can do about making it all work. Yeah, so here we are. These are a bunch of bolts that hold the seats down. And anyway, they were all rusty and pretty yucky. They're not bad now. I left them soaking in a jar of diesel fuel overnight, and Paul told me that diesel fuel cleans rust off stuff, and it sure does. The heads of the bolts were all very, very rusty. So what I did was I cleaned them all off, took a little bit of wire brush to them, and then I sprayed them down with WD-40 to take away the smell of the diesel. Yeah, here you go. So, try that again. Here you go. So failure is always an option. These, if you can see in there, I don't know if you can see that. Wait a second, I'll see if I can get around to seeing that thing. You see inside there, there's 4 holes, but there's only a wire in this one, those are bottom 3 there. Same on the other side here. There's only 3 connectors. Then I'll get this turned upside down somehow or other. Yeah, take 2. Well, anyhow, these things will go on. This will go on here, but then the wiring doesn't match. The 3-prong spring thing don't match up. So of course nothing happened. So I got in the car and I thought I'd had it, as you remember maybe from the previous video. I said, yeah, there's no way I could get that wrong, but apparently there is. So I think I got it right now. Here's the the sound of success is the chair goes back and forward. It's kind of noisy, but it works. And then it also, all the other things work, more or less. If you don't ground them out, I'll figure that out. So now here we are. I'll give you a demonstration. Here's the buttons now, and that goes that way, and that goes that way. So that's good. And then it does up and down business too. Like I don't know what that one doesn't do much, but this one goes like that, or like that, and that one. Don't know if you can see that, like that, and like that. And then this one here is crazy one, goes up and down the headrest, which I know everybody needs to have. There you go. Now the other thing electronic in here that's supposed to work is the mirrors. I'll see if that works. Maybe you have to have a key on for that. Turn down the key and see what happens. Get the bong bar down. Oh yeah. Don't sure make lots of noise. That seems to work on that side. Yeah. That seems to work on that side, so everything works. Amazing. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, the Loomis guy brought these brand new things for me. Speed sensors for the back wheels. So you're supposed to put a bit of grease on this part here and then insert them into the well, you have to, I'll show you. You have to take apart. I've got the brake calipers on here, but you take apart the brake calipers, or don't take apart, you just pull it out. There's a couple of bolts in there, you pull that off and hang it up out of the way, and it goes right in there. So I'll see if I can figure that out. Yeah, so there's where it goes there, and I got a new little bolt to hold that on there too. There's a bolt, and then the wire goes up over the top and across that way. So I'll get the thing in there first, and then I'll figure out how it goes the wire. First off, I'll just take a bit of grease and put it on the inside, coat the inside of that with grease, and then I'll coat the other thing with grease too, the other part. Yeah, there it is. It went in pretty simple. I just slid it in there, and then it had about a ½ inch to go, so I gave it a couple of taps with a rubber hammer, and that went in nice and easy. And then this new bolt here goes in. It's got a rubber seal in there for it, so it seems to be all together. I'll put the caliper back on, and then I'll get this this wire, oh, there it is. It just goes up in there and it connects to this one here, and then it goes up into the body of the car. And that'll be that. I'll do the other side. I'll show you when it's done. Yeah, there it is, all back together again. There's the wire for it going up that way. Then it hooks into this wire here. I haven't put it back into the body of the car yet. I'm going to take it down and see if the ABS light stays on or goes off or what happens there. Not that it'll make any real difference. I'll put it together anyhow. Yeah, I don't think I showed you this, but oh, there's my finger in the way. There, all the seats are back in it. Back seats, front seats. I didn't put and all the electrics for the seats work. Up and down, back and forth, every which way. Now, see if that ABS light goes off or on. What happens here? Anti-lock. So, it's still on, but wait and see if it, maybe I'll start it up and see what happens. See if I put it in gear and turn it around a couple of times. I'll have to check into that and see what it does. Right now it still does anti-lock, so. Well, the gears go all different ways, so likely the front wheels have to spin a bit so it gets itself sorted out. Anyway, there we go. It says it needs oil service. I have to figure out how to turn that off. But otherwise, all right. Now I better shut it off because the garage door is not really closed. So, what did that tell me? That told me I gotta drive the car a bit before it'll sort itself out. Here's something that I'm not very good at or never done really. So I've got that piece of new metal in there, and then I'm gonna fill this in with body putty. It had quite a bit of body putty on it or something on there. So I'll just fill that in and make it smooth across here. And that's a good place to start. So I took some acetone to it, cleaned it all off with acetone, then I sanded it, and then I did the acetone again. So I think it's set to go here. Yeah, so you take some of this stuff. I'll just open it up and show it to you here. That stuff there, pretty color, right? You put just a little bit on here, and then you put some of this hardening stuff into it. I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, here we are. Got to put the roof back on this. So I only take about that much of the stuff there, and then that's likely way more than I need, likely. But I got another place I can put it. Then you just put a cross of this stuff on, like that much of it, and then mix it all up, and then it'll be happy. Yeah, there you go. It's all mixed up. Now I'll go back to the back of the car and I'll start putting it on. But well, I guess I can't. I only have two hands, so I'll show you what I do after. There's what it looks like to start with, hey? Yeah, so there's what it looks like after, and then I'll put another coat on there to smooth it out a little bit more, but that kind of gets the first coat on. Now I've been working on the other side over here, this thing here, so I've got a couple of coats on there. I'll take a bit of sanding to that because I left a ridge there, stupidly. And then I'll fill this in so it looks like a nice body line. It's not going to be exactly the same body line that it was when it came out of the factory, but it'll look reasonably good, I hope. There you go, that's about 3 coats of that, and it actually looks like it's going to be all right. I'll sand that off when it hardens, well, maybe tomorrow. And then the same on this side. I've got to do a little bit of sanding right here because I left a lump there and I left a lump over there, so I got to sand that off and then sort of recontour that a little bit. But it's starting to look like a nicer body line than all that lumpy lump stuff. So my next project is going to be over in the wheel well over here. I'll mix up some more mud and just come around, start around this wheel well. See what I can make it look a little bit smoother. It's not a very smooth line there. Maybe I'll do a little bit of grinding on that before I do anything. Yeah, there we are. What I did coat on it yesterday. It's actually come out pretty smooth, but you can see there's low spot here, low spot here, a little bit of a low spot in there. So I'll just put another coat on it. And then this one here, lots of, well, high spots and low spots. But I'll get that sorted out. There's a, no, you don't know. There's a low spot here. And now on the other side, but I sanded it down because it was kind of lumpy because I'm not very good at this stuff. But maybe I'll get better at it. This one here actually feels really nice. Feels really nice and smooth. But I have down here, needs more sanding. But up in here, there's still a little bit of a dent right there that I'm just going to fill up with that body fill. And then try to smooth this body line over. I didn't make it very smooth with the metal work. But I'll try and get it a little bit better. And then I'll put a coat of stuff on this one here. And then it's just a matter of the running boards. The running boards are pretty easy because they just have to do this part up here and the metal is down there. It's nice. So, cool. I'll carry on. Yeah, back to the body filler. Now, you got to sort of clean your tools off pretty good before you use them on any day or after you use them too. That way, there's a chunk right, oops, I didn't see that. There's a chunk of material right here at the edge of it that will likely, when it gets softened up, it'll fall off and fall into your work and create a lump. So try to make it so that doesn't happen. Yeah, there's some more work done on it that it's starting to look pretty good. It needs another coat of body putty here. But it's starting to come down to a nice body line. Actually looks like it's okay. And then over on this side, there was a big dent there, but you can see the body line's pretty well the right contour now. That's just the first coat of the stuff on there. And then I was out at, my favorite store, Canadian Tire, and as I was going by, I looked at a paint color on the shelf. And here, if I can find a piece for the car that's clean, I'll compare it to it for you. Well, here on the door, it's pretty clean. Here's a good spot. That's pretty near an exact match. Now this paint color that was on here when I had it painted in 2004 or 5 or something like that. I had it painted, and it wasn't the exact color that BMW had. It was a color that the guy that painted it found, and I never did ask him, what it was, or I'd likely asked him, but apparently forgot about it. Anyhow, but this color here is a Toyota color. Where does it say out here? There it says, so right there. The cap matches the color. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get me focused on here. Focus on that there now. This is a bit tedious, isn't it? Anyway, it says on there, desert sand mica. Now, in my brain and in my memory, I remember him talking about desert sand. So, might be the one. And if it is, that makes life easy, because I don't have to go finding colors. And what I'll do is I'll finish up the bodywork, paint up the bits that I've got here, see how it looks. And if it doesn't look any good, I'll paint the whole thing. But if it looks okay, why paint the whole thing, right? Yeah, there it is. It's not a perfect repair, but it's not a bad repair. And I found the Magic Elixir B brown shoe polish to get it all colors right again. And I've got 1 or 2 coats of brown shoe polish on there, and it seems to be coming back to real. I'll put a couple of coats of brown shoe polish on here. Now this thing here, I used acetone on there, so don't use acetone on this stuff because it takes the color right out of it. Whereas up here I just used, well, moonshine, but that would be rubbing alcohol if you want to get some from the store. But then I put some brown shoe polish on my gear shift selector, and that's actually a comfortable gear shift selector, and it is looks good with shoe polish. There you go, shoe polish fixes everything. Yeah, so this part up here, I'm reasonably happy with how it turned out on the wheel well. Like it's got a wheel arch there. A little bit of pounding right here to do. But then the down here, you stick on this piece of whatever you call this, that's, what do you call that stuff? Molding, right? Then you can see right down there, there's a little bit of a gap there. And then there's gaps in here. That's a little bit much to be filling. Like this edge here is okay down here, but this edge here, not so okay. What I might do is I might just cut that out and put a new piece of metal in there and try it again. One thing about the metal stuff, you can do it now, and you can't do it later. Yeah, there we go. Cut out that piece, and I've got a new piece for it. Where is it? Right here. It'll just slide in like that, and then I'll get it to butt up there pretty good, and it'll fill in that thing there straight, so the body piece will fit on straight. That'll look a lot better than trying to fill it up full of Bondo, eh? Yeah, now I think I'm all set to put her back in. Sort of slides in just like that. And it seems to fit pretty good all the way around. What the hell? That'll look an awful lot better. I'll do the same on the other side and sort that out and make it a little bit prettier over there. And it puts a better lip on here. Yeah, now it's just slow going with the welding spots. Weld a bunch of spots, let it cool off, weld a bunch more. Let it cool off, weld a bunch more. But actually that's looking a lot better than it was. The previous iteration had a great big wow in it here, so I'm happy with that. I can go and cut off the other side and do it over there on the other side too, and make a much nicer looking finished job. Yeah, there we go. That's got a little bit of a dip right here, but not nearly what there was before. And this thing here, when you stick it on here, there's a very little gap in between there, so I'm a happy guy with that. And I'll put a little bit of body fill in there and cover that stuff up, and that'll be just fine. Yeah, so there's side number 2 cut out, and I've got a piece of metal to go in here, like that. And we'll see how things work out. Might fit, might make things a bit better. Like it's got to be out kind of like that, maybe. That idea there. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Yeah, there we are. That's the first grind done on this side, and actually looks pretty good. I rolled this edge over, so it'll make it look a bit nicer. And I got a nick right up here to fix, and a couple of little pinholes. But mostly it's I did better on this side than I did on the other side, but basically both sides are done now. That's good, because you know, it's Friday, and that means time to put out a movie.